Alrighty, coming back at you with another YouTube video. Today we're gonna check out some statistics and shit that's going on in the world with specifically men. Um, Men are giving up. Niggas is checking out. Niggas don't give a fuck. They just don't want no parts of society. And I agree. I feel like we've been pushed to that point where it's just like, who gives a fuck, right? Fuck that shit. Let's get the hell out of this bitch. That's how motherfuckers think, in my opinion. We're gonna check this video out and we gonna see what's popping. You know, I feel like this is a very important subject that needs to be touched on, and I'm gonna try to put more consistent content out every week because I don't got shit to lose. I'm tired of fucking being broke and shit and working 9 to 5s and shit. So this pertains to me because fuck this shit, right? Let's see what's going on.
Increasingly, more and more men are giving up. Giving up on relationships, careers, and society as a whole. Resentment is growing, unemployment is becoming rampant, and keeping your head above water seems almost impossible for many men today. This is leading to more men than ever dropping out of society entirely. And it's not just that, men are becoming infantilized. With terms like adulting now becoming normal, it's clear that something ugly is happening that needs to be addressed. We live in such a strained, unnatural environment that is bound to start to wear on society, but men in particular are battling to keep up and are slowly giving up. Giving up on dreams, giving up on trying, and giving up on doing anything constructive. And for a large part, it's really not their fault, as this trend isn't just a personal struggle, but a societal issue that we must urgently address. So
And I feel like that's true. Um, so the workforce specifically, right? It's like you go to work and shit, and it's like you want to go to work to improve your lifestyle or get farther ahead or some shit like that, right? Jobs don't provide that. Jobs just don't provide that need to get you farther in life or whatever. It just feels like you're on a hamster wheel, just continuously just running on and on and on. Like, who the fuck want to do that, bro? Nobody wants to do that shit, gang. Real shit. Do you want to do that? I don't. That's why I'm on here talking and shit like that. I want to talk and put my personality out there and shit, so people get the gist of me. You know what I'm saying? And get my personality out there. But mainly, I feel the reason is because of that. It's just like you're not getting anywhere, bro. Nobody's getting anywhere. Even if you go to a job, you work hard every day and shit like that, you're gonna be still stuck in the same place doing the same shit. And society is not moving in a better direction to even make that possible, So it's just like, what the fuck are we really doing, right?
why is this happening? And why has it gotten so bad in 2024? On the surface, it's a long and complicated story. Life has never been simple for any human, and objectively speaking, for men in the West today, it's never been better. We have all the technology we need, food delivered to your door with the tap of a finger, dating readily available to anyone with a simple swipe. Any products, items, or experiences that you want can be had with the tap of your phone. But over time,
I would say for like the ordering food and shit is easier or whatever. Dating and shit though online or whatever, that shit is ass. Let's just keep it a beam or whatever. That's just so you could, get a nut off and then call it a day and then go to fuck home. Even if you get a reply or whatever. Cause think about how many chicks is online and shit getting mad messages and shit like that or whatever. What's your odds? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, to some extent I feel like that's true, but to some extent, yeah, not really.
all of these comforts of life destroys the importance and necessity of struggle, without any value placed on higher goals. Where there just is no reason to care, means there's no reason for people to properly live or have the will to achieve greatness. Which is probably why 40% of young men aged 18 to 45 meet the criteria for depression, and 49% of 18 to 23-year-olds have had a thought of passing themselves in the past 2 weeks alone. And we're seeing the symptoms of this problem everywhere. The sapping away of our vision and ambition permeates in all aspects of modern society today. Our culture, architecture, relationships, bodies and minds. Past civilizations before us have always placed their emphasis on beauty, wisdom and logic for all the population to see, with great town squares, bustling with art, life and community. These things were placed above all else as the bedrock of their societies, laying out a code of honor and struggle in its people to achieve greatness. Comforts were shown in art and culture, but as an aspiration for achieving something great, for following your mastery. But today our cities are mostly devoid of all of this character, and instead they're marked out by the most cost-efficient, bland and sterile designs to facilitate a simpler self-motivated purpose. It's why people flock all over the world to a handful of remaining cities that retain their centuries-old charm to feel and experience the character of bygone societies that were motivated by higher ideals. Ideals greater than our modern two-dimensional ways of thinking. With a prioritization of comfort, lasting opulence and flashy materialism over individual excellence and greater community, we're now reeling in the aftermath, becoming instead.
Yeah, and I feel like that's true too. It's like we see it in like everything now. It's like you feel like all these corporations, like all these niggas is trying to cut corners, bro. Like stop trying to cut corners and shit. But then at the same time, they got to because the price is too damn high. So niggas got to cut some shit, right? It's like really bad, bro. And it's like stemming into everything I love, and it's crazy. Like gaming, for example. Back then, when motherfuckers created games and shit like that, it was for just the purpose of passion. Like all the old games you used to fuck with and shit like that or whatever that were great or whatever were all made by people who genuinely cared about gaming. They liked to game, they like playing certain things and shit like that. So they had a passion and a drive behind that to create a great product that they would put out for the world and shit like that. It's not like that anymore. It's more of a monetization perspective where niggas is trying to make money off of shit instead of having the drive or the goal or the, you know, the passion for the shit. It's different when you got one guy that's working in financials for just the bread, and then you got one guy that's working in financials because he just likes financials. He's gonna do way better than the guy that's trying to make money and shit like that because he has the heart. He's putting the heart into that shit. He has the drive. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference with that shit now, and I feel like a lot of people just don't have the drive, bro. They just go for the financial means or whatever, which is cool, get your bag. But we're not gonna sit here and pretend like you're not putting out shitty stuff. But I'm just saying in that sense, like people are just into things now without the drive, and that's what fucks shit up. And that's like in everything now, and you can see that even like they were just talking about architecture, shit like that. It's just cookie cutter. Here's this building right here. We can get motherfuckers to live in there and shit like that. Make it look like the one next to it. No passion, no creativity, no drive.
To the generation of mandated mediocrity. And does this explain why men today seem to struggle more than ever while seemingly having more than ever? America in particular is not actually in a recession. In fact, on paper, the economy looks like the best it's been in a while. Unemployment has dropped, GDP is up, but what the people are actually experiencing is a completely different story. We can see this in a study by the University of Michigan on consumer sentiment, which gathers data based on how consumers feel about the current state of finances. In 2022, it dropped to an all-time low. Prices of our average daily needs like gas and food have increased in unbearable percentages. In contrast, salary increases do not match, putting a high strain on budgets.
Inflation is showing no signs of slowing down as Americans pay over $1,000 a month more on the same essentials we were buying 3 years ago. Nothing's changed but price. The latest consumer price index for March showing basic necessities like our food, housing, and gas are all continuing to cripple Americans' wallets with higher prices.
Exactly. And this is the show I'm talking about too. It's like the price is going up, but not your paycheck. That shit don't make no damn sense, bro. What the fuck is we doing, nigga? Is anybody gonna, am I the only person feeling like this? Sometimes I feel like that. I feel like I'm the only person like, this is some dumb ass shit. We over here working 9 to 5 and just barely scraping by and shit, bitch. Like, what the fuck? Just so I could, damn, bro. Like, shit, I know we all had them times we had to scrape some quarters up to go buy some shit or something like that. Like, bro, nobody's trying to do that fuck shit no more, bro. A lot of people are checking out of society. I don't even think it's just men. It just so happens to be more men because they're more shunned to the side or whatever. It's just, oh, you're a man. You're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just get pushed out to the sides or whatever. So motherfuckers just like, all right, bet. Oh, you gonna push me out? All right, bet. I'm gonna check out. Fuck you mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's getting worse by the day, bro. Like, no, it's like you trying to play catch up and you can't catch up at all.
Our wages are actually down against inflation since Biden took office. So not only are prices soaring, but our wages, at least if you measure hourly wages, are not keeping up at all.
Keeping your head above water has become the new normal instead of owning a home with a white picket fence. The rich are becoming richer and the poor are becoming poorer, with the middle class disintegrating completely. All the knowledge of the past of just going to college, getting a job, and buying a home immediately is just completely irrelevant for anyone working and living in 2024. Universities have skyrocketed in prices to absurd levels. The housing market is in a complete giant bubble. Everyone's sending out job applications more and more, all while using these automated testing systems, applying up to 100 jobs a day and still not getting anywhere. All the while major companies repeatedly tell us that they can't find any workers for their companies. And the results of this are clear. People are drifting towards more unfulfilling jobs, or just not even having a job at all, while the rich buy up resources, real estate, and everything that used to be the cornerstones of the middle class, that is now just an investment hidden through an offshore bank account for some giant investment fund.
Basically what they want to do is create a nation of renters. BlackRock coming in and giving them more money than the house is worth.
How much more do they give them?
They can.
So what they pretty much saying here is that all the elite motherfuckers are coming through and taking over the shit that middle class people have originally been a cornerstone for them. So let's say, do you know this random guy or whatever, he's been in real estate or whatever, he lived down the street from you and shit like that, and he's been in real estate selling houses and shit like that or whatever. Well, the elites or whatever are catching on to this ideal. So they're going into those markets and buying everything the fuck up. So niggas like you can't. And they'll take over that market. So when they take over that shit or whatever, what does that make you? A renter. Now you have to pay them. You see what I'm saying? They trying to stop all the specific points that we have as leverage. They're trying to take that over and use it against you to make you pay them. That's what they do. That's what they do in everything and shit like that. Just pay attention to the car dealerships and shit like that. All that bullshit that you gotta pay for that damn car and shit like that or whatever. That's just the dealership doing that shit for real. Not you. Or, you know what I'm saying? They just gouge the fucking prices out of you or whatever so they can get their cut and move on. You know what I'm saying? That's how these motherfuckers operate.
Give them, 30% above.
Really?
Which is money.
And then they just
it's
lease those
BlackRock.
homes out.
And they lease them out. It's part of this idea that home ownership and automobile ownership and all of these things, these legacy systems that people want to get rid of. And they go, rent a house, use Uber, Lyft, whatever. You don't need to own. What does owning do for you? That's that famous article, you'll own nothing and be happy.
Right.
And because of this, all saving plans for regular people are halted because living paycheck to paycheck means there just isn't enough for a savings plan. And whilst there is still some hope to dig your way out, for most this does begin a damaged path. People end up working in a job that's not in their field, something that they hate to do every day, and eliminates the experience they need for the job in their field. And so even the experience they are...
You see what I'm saying? And that's why you always see these goddamn videos where it's like motherfuckers fighting in the McDonald's and shit or whatever. Motherfuckers don't give a fuck, bro. Niggas don't care, bro. I know if I was working at McDonald's, I wouldn't care either. The fuck? Fuck that shit. You got niggas coming in acting rude as shit. Like, bro, you think I want to be here, bro? I don't. I don't give a fuck about you or this damn job. And that's why they start crashing out, bro. Straight up, niggas start crashing out. Niggas don't care. And you can't blame them. How you gonna blame them, bro? Nobody, who want to do that, bro? Nobody wants to do that, bro. You want to make a burger for fucking 8 hours? Hell no. I don't want to do that shit either. I'm crashing out too. I did that shit when I was like, what, 16? Man, fuck that shit. I'll never go back. Never. I'd be homeless. Straight up. I'd rather be homeless. This shit is, yeah, bro. You can't blame niggas for crashing out and doing all this shit. And like they saying, bro, motherfuckers are just resorting to shit they don't want to do. And when like I said, you don't have the passion, you don't give a fuck. And when you don't give a fuck, that's a liable crash out right there, straight up.
Getting it's just completely useless for getting back on track. In effect, their now entry-level position is further deviating them from becoming lawyers, psychologists, or whichever career path they studied for. And if the middle class is experiencing this, then the lower earners are feeling this even more. The jobs they once had a chance of landing now go to the middle class, while they get hit a bump lower, which is putting millions of people in dire straits. They face working twice as hard for minimum wage, juggling between jobs, partaking in the gig economy with absolutely no security, all with an extreme pressure to keep up with daily expenses in a completely overpriced megacity. And the truth is, both middle and lower earners are now taking a huge hit to their egos. They feel disrespected through no fault of their own, as no man wants to feel like a failure. They don't want to feel like they're not providing or on their destiny. Imagine putting in the hours and effort to get a degree and then having to take a job that's not even within the field you studied for. Well, this is just regular life for most people nowadays. It's making men feel incredibly depressed and isolated. They watch all this stuff on social media, they see people flexing the Rolexes on their Instagram stories. Meanwhile, they're struggling to survive, living a life they absolutely hate. And when friends...
Man, come on, bro. You know we all been there and shit, nigga. We all been there. It's alright, bro. It's all good, bro. I feel you. I feel you, bro. You just sit in your crib, you see all this glamour shit, all the glamour, the fame, the this and this, and then you just like, damn, bro, like all these niggas flexing up. I'm trying to survive. I'm scraping quarters. And shit, gang. What the fuck? I feel you, bro. Like, this shit is bad, bro. Like, this shit is bad, nigga. We need to come together on some shit, do something, man. Like, try to do what your passion is and really strive for that shit hard. Like, whoever it is out there, like, you know, whoever that guy is sitting in his room seeing all this shit or whatever, like, bro, go for your passion and do what you want to do. That's why I'm on here today. That's why I'm trying to get up on my YouTube shit, just get online and just talk. I'm gonna just keep posting shit, because I'm trying to get out this shit too. I'm just like, yo, I ain't no different. I'm that nigga in the room, bro. I'm that nigga looking in the room. Damn, bro, how the fuck I get a Rolex or some shit? You know what I'm saying? I'm that guy. Come on now.
And family ask
Ain't no
about
shame.
it, they suffered the humiliation of
shame.
explaining why they had to take what was available. Even though it isn't humiliating at all, and they're doing what they can to survive, it definitely takes a huge effect on their mental health. Especially as it wasn't that long ago, where it was actually normal to enter the workforce with a mentor who would show you the ropes and encourage you and push you to learn more. Starting at the bottom didn't seem so bad because there was an opportunity to grow and reap more rewards, but this imperative step is slowly slipping away. Companies of prestige have forgotten the generation with no experience, and for many companies, this is what they want. This is actually the ideal scenario, where they have people so desperate, so in need of experience, that they can treat their workers like absolute trash. Since the 1980s to
And I could attest to that, not personally, but my stepbrother, for example, he went to Penn State, went to school for a long time or whatever, and came out. And his biggest problem, like, he couldn't find a job for like a year or two because all the jobs or whatever required experience. But it's like, how the fuck I'm gonna get experience, nigga, when there's fucking, I need to get on the job site so I can get the experience, right? But then they're just like, nah, nigga, we don't want you. We need to fucking, we want this or whatever, and you don't got the experience. But how he gonna get the experience when he can't get in the damn field to even get the experience? You know what I'm saying? So it was just like a fucking thing, and he had to accept something that he wasn't necessarily too much into, but he took it because that's what was available, so he could take that stepping stone to get where he want to be at. You know what I'm saying? But that's dumb as shit, because you just spent all them damn years in school and shit like that, and then now you telling me I gotta have the experience and shit, when it's like, well, bitch, I spent most of my life in this fucking school y'all told me to go to, and then now you talk about I need experience and shit, bitch. Why the fuck didn't y'all put me in the field then? I spent all this damn money. Put some experience on my shit so when I go out there or something, like, you know what I'm saying? That shit don't make sense, bro. At least to me.
testosterone levels have dropped more than 50%, and yet we're told to ignore it. Why? Because there's a coordinated effort to suppress masculinity and turn men into something they were never meant to be. This decline is no accident. We're constantly exposed to harmful chemicals in our food and everyday products, bombarded with estrogenic chemicals from plastics, junk food, and sedentary lifestyles, which is why testosterone levels have been declining for decades, with a 17% drop among 60-year-olds in 2004.
This is targeted on purpose. If there is any men out there that are, you feel like you're struggling with testosterone and shit like that, go to your doctor, get your labs done, check your testosterone levels. If it's below average, get your shit up. Reason being is testosterone is really important for men. Don't let that feminist shit fool you, because they try to make it seem like being masculine is wrong. That is not true whatsoever. Having testosterone and being masculine or whatever is what gives you the drive to go out and go for whatever passion or whatever you're trying to do. That's why a lot of motherfuckers are just sitting in their room and not getting shit done, because your testosterone is low. As a man, when your testosterone is high, it makes you want to get out there. Yeah, like, I'm gonna go do what I gotta do type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It gives you that drive and that passion to do whatever the hell you have to do as a man. Like, a man goes out and gets shit done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even back in the day when it's like tribal shit or whatever, go out, hunt, do this. You know what I'm saying? Testosterone, nigga. Like, that's important, though. It's really important as a man. It's not a thing where it's like you're trying to get above a woman and, oh yeah, I'm big nigga. Yeah, watch out, bitch. Like, no, it's not that, bro. It's just for the man's sake, is that he has to have that drive, even in any scenario, as like a head of a household or whatever the fuck. Testosterone is important, bro. It's the best decision I've ever made. I work out every day and shit like that just so I can get those testosterone levels pumping, because that's what gives you the drive to come on here and shit. There's plenty of days I don't even want to come on here and record shit like I am, but I got that drive in me now. I'm pumping iron. I'm doing what I gotta do for the testosterone. It's important, bro. Don't let that shit fool you.
Compared to 1987, sperm count and strength in men are also decreasing exponentially, with a 32.5% decrease in mean sperm concentration in the last 50 years. But here's the good news: there are ways to fight back, and one of the most effective solutions that I've found is our sponsor Black Forest's Testosterone with Tonkat Ali. This supplement is packed with two of the most powerful natural 2 get 1 free well-being, and by supporting our sponsors, you also support us directly. So hurry and take advantage of this. Could take a cost to their job. The cost of having a job also plays a part in stripping them of their dignity. Transport costs to their job, depending on the amount, could take a huge chunk of their salary, so that at the end of the day, they can only pay for rent or food and not both. A government grant could replace their salaries, and they earn more or less the same amount.
What's also helping to pay the bills is, as I said, the U.S. government, in particular, our disability programs for people who are unable to work. Those programs seem to have morphed away from their original humane intention and now seem to provide an
What the fuck is this link down here, bro?
alternative income source to regular employment for several millions, for millions and millions of these guys.
If a job doesn't support your basic needs of a home, food and transport, it wears thin in justifying the effort for this job, especially if you're not getting any experience. And in most cases, if you go into the gig economy, absolutely no security either. All for minimum wage. There's even a new term called quietly quitting, where you do the bare minimum of your job to the point that you're almost rendered useless and you get fired or simply quit. The fact that this term even exists shows that attention is desperately needed to solve this problem.
I'm a victim. I mean, not a victim. I'm a suspect of this shit. I did this shit at Walmart. I did bare minimum. I stopped giving a fuck. And I didn't quit. I mean, I didn't get fired. I quit silently, or quiet quitting. I wouldn't say it like, I just like, well, I disengaged, right? And then one day I was just like, yeah, tired of doing this shit. I was like, yo, I went up to the manager. I was like, yo, let me go get something at the whip real quick. All right, bro. I went in that whip, bro. I sat there for a second. Looked at my dash. And I was just like, man, I want to go home. Cranked that bitch up. Reversed. Left that parking lot. I ain't looked back. I ain't looked back since, bro. Fuck that shit, bro. I don't care. Motherfuckers be like, oh, you lazy, this and that, man. Fuck Walmart, bro. What are you talking about? I was up in that bitch overnight stocking. Mind you, the manager or whatever, she wasn't satisfied with shit. You would stock the whole joint up. Another pallet out. Do that shit. She's never satisfied. That and I looked at my schedule too before I went into the car. It was overnight. I was working till like 7:30 or some shit, right? And then they wanted me to come back in at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon or some shit like that. Which is like, bro, what? How are you gonna, fuck this shit, man. That was another reason why I left. It was like, bro, I'm not gonna die for this. I'm not dying for Walmart, nigga. What are you talking about right now, bro? Fuck that shit, man. Telling you, bro. I don't blame anybody for doing this at all. Like quiet quitting and shit, man. Fuck these jobs, nigga. Fuck are you talking about? What the corporation gonna help you? Yeah, okay, bro. Fuck out of here, bro. Quiet quit. Do it.
And while this is happening, it's becoming more and more common for both partners in a household to be living the same life, or even with most males' partners actually being the breadwinner. And whilst this isn't necessarily a problem at all, it is leading to some weird modern problems in the household. Men with families are actually switching their roles with their wives, except they're not actually doing what their wives would do if they were to stay at home.
When you look at what I guess in Britain is called NEET, N-E-E-T, do you say that also in Australia, neither employed nor in education or training? When you look at that huge group of well over 6 million prime age men, the story they're telling about their lives is really pretty devastating. It's pretty distressing. They basically don't do civil society. There's almost no worship, almost no volunteering, almost no charitable work. They've got a lot of time on their hands, but they report doing strangely little help around the home or help with other people at home.
Because of the situation, some men may feel a sense of worthlessness and resentment. Some men might take an hour to clean up the house and fetch the kids, but the rest of the day they sleep or play games. In some cases, the wives work and then come home to finish the chores their husbands were meant to do but didn't. And whilst this might cause huge marriage problems, it still feels better off to the husbands. If asked what they do for a living, saying they're on a
That's another thing touching on the testosterone thing or whatever. Just as the niggas don't have the drive to do anything. They don't have it, bro. They don't have it. They're too busy eating the chemicals and the foods and shit like that. It fucks up the testosterone and shit in men. And they don't have the drive to do anything. That's why niggas are so feminine and shit, and they all butthurt about shit because niggas is feminine, bro. Niggas is feminine. Like back then or whatever, the woman would chill at the house, do the thing. And, just chill out and do their thing, bro. Or, back then. Now it's the opposite and shit. But the guy, he's not even fit for that role to begin with. And I'm not saying, like, cleaning around the house and shit is just for women. That's not true at all. Like, I clean up and shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the work, even if y'all both go to work and shit like that, the work should be divided around the crib to just make it easier on everybody. You know what I'm saying? But when there's the lack of testosterone and shit like that or whatever, and your man is not doing the shit that he needs to do or whatever, there's something wrong with that. And that's biologically. Something is not ticking within the brain or whatever, because a man's natural instinct should be to get out there and just be a go-getter. Like, that's just what the testosterone does. It gets you out there or whatever. But I feel like this is systematically in place because they don't want you to be a go-getter, okay? The more go-getters we have, the more niggas that become successful. More niggas touching into that pool of money that those elites have. They don't want that shit. Why the fuck would they want a nation of go-getters when they can have a nation of renters? You see what I'm saying? A nation of fucking people that sit back and just listen to everything. Oh, yep, you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, you fucking broke bitch. Straight up.
On a break or working on a project beats the humiliation of saying they work in McDonald's with a useless degree on their back. Men without families have nothing to lose, so they stop working because no woman would even want them anyway. They can't afford to date, they can't afford a family, and since their own families are supportive, it somehow justifies them giving up and staying at home, rather than facing these societal problems head on. With prices rising, getting hired becoming harder and harder by the day, and inequality becoming rampant within society, most men are just deciding to give up, because instead of facing the hardships of having a job, it just seems so much easy to escape, whether it be tamely being online, playing video games all day, or hiding behind doing chores at home to show they still have a purpose and are doing their best. The point being that for many men in 2024, if they're gonna be disrespected and feel worthless, they may as well choose the easy way out than a battle. If respect had a currency on how it would affect your life directly, you would see a different picture.
And with that being said, all my guys that feel like this or whatever that's gonna check out, fuck that shit, bro. Fuck all that shit. We gonna stand up. I'm fighting, nigga. I'm fucking fighting. I was there too, nigga. I be sitting down playing the game and shit or whatever. I got a job and shit or whatever. I fucking hate and shit. I feel that way too, bro. I feel that way too sometimes, bro. But you gotta get up and really get out there and like get it going. Like try something, dog. Like just don't sit back and just game and shit all the time. If you gonna at least game, stream the shit or something or whatever. Bring your personality into it. Get in there, bro. Like don't sit back and let these niggas beat you down, bro. I'm telling you, all this shit is systematically in place to put you down, bro. And not even to be on no crazy conspiracy shit or whatever. This is facts, nigga. You see the statistics. Testosterone is low. Get your shit up, man. Come on, bro.
A man with a job with high pressure, long hours, and doing something that makes him feel degraded would be worth, say, $100, but staying at home, playing games, and escaping, all while being with the people he loves, is probably worth $200 because of how it affects him. This explains why more and more men are deciding to drop out of society rather than face it head on, as it just seems to be the easier path. If it's a choice between two paths, one that offers little satisfaction while the other provides comfort, it's easy to see why men are going this route. But the thing is, this is a terrible mistake. And this is creating problems that we've never seen before. If there is no emphasis or any facilitation of the need to aspire to something greater and the game seems rigged to most who are playing it, it's hardly a surprise record numbers of men are dropping out and giving up on the game entirely. The problem is that there's a huge group of men, roughly about 7 million in America between the ages of 25 and 55, who are not working and are actively not looking for work. Now, COVID certainly had a hand in accelerating these figures. One question posed to these dropouts was how many of these men were on pain medication, and almost half of these men admitted to taking pain medication daily. And aside from those who desperately need it, these figures could indicate that men are aimlessly numbing themselves to their new reality. And this is great for society.
Don't do that, bro. Do not jump into opiates. Let me tell you from experience, do not jump into that shit. I don't care how hard it gets for you, nigga. I don't care, bro. If you ever been strung the fuck out on the sidewalk in Kensington and shit like that, bro, believe me, you don't want to be there, bro. I was there. Real shit. A couple years ago, back when I was in my teen years, bro, I was strung the fuck out, bro. Feeling exactly like this. But shit's a lot better now, you know what I'm saying? It's not the greatest as I want it to be. But you know what I'm saying? This is not gonna help you, gang. Like, do not jump into no opiates, nothing like that. I strongly suggest you don't do that, bro. Believe me, bro. You ever fucking woke up and forgot who the fuck you was? Nigga, that was me. No idea who the fuck I was. I straight up forgot my identity.
As people don't have to deal with this huge problem. And what's even more shocking is that 40% of these men do have some kind of degree.
What sort of men are in this group? Demographically, education, family structure, ethnicity, who makes up this group?
Surprisingly large, we say, representation of guys with college or even college degrees. 40% of this group has at least some college, and as I recall, about a fifth or a sixth are college grads.
The decision to be in this state is closely related to changing times. We've already discussed the effects of brain rot in another upload, which disabled problem solving in Generation Z and has already presented problems in finding jobs. They are quick to quit at the first difficult task and move on to find something else, but what happens when options run dry and they find themselves simply stuck in limbo? Giving up seems to be the next step, and accepting that is easy when they're discouraged by the situation. Working off of surveys, the data compiled indicates that these men are not only not working, but they're cutting themselves off from their communities, or there's no incentivization for them to even have any community in the first place. They're hiding out because going out would mean meeting new people who might oppose their lifestyles. It makes it uncomfortable. Why leave when you can just aimlessly watch brain rot content and numb yourself with weed or pain medication and stay inside, in the warm comfort of home?
And I'm a victim of that too. I'm a victim of that. What is that? You know what I'm saying? We do, a lot of us do that, bro. Come on now. You know a lot of us do that shit. I ain't gonna hold you. I be doing that shit, bro. I really be doing that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I do that. But in reality or whatever, I had to sit down and really think to myself, like, yo, this is like an escape for me or whatever, because life is so ass. You just want to get away from that shit. Like, let me just hit this joint real quick. Let me float a little bit. Let me float on something a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hop on the Nimbus. And float out that bitch real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame anybody who do that shit either or whatever. But at the same time, really go out there and try to face this shit or whatever. I'm trying to face my shit, and it's hard as shit, bro. It is hard as shit doing this shit, bro. And they don't give a fuck about niggas, bro. Couldn't keep it a bean. They don't give a fuck about us, bro. You gotta give a fuck about yourself. That's what I had to figure out, bro.
And any sexual needs you have can be satisfied with pixels on a screen. This lifestyle is increasingly becoming more and more normal for men in the West. But what's important to note is that men don't want to be this way. It's a horrible lifestyle, it's depressing, it's atomizing. What this really is just a coping mechanism or a form of self-defense against a society that's becoming increasingly hostile to these men. Up until recently, the problem has been invisible. These figures weren't shown in any statistics or surveys because they slipped through the cracks until very recently. So why did they slip through the cracks? Well, it's easy to see. They simply don't fit the victim criteria. Some have degrees, they're in the prime of their lives, and it was their choice to quit. It's easily overlooked and only comes to light as the numbers rise. Nicholas Upstart wrote a book called Men Without Work, and has since exposed and addressed the problems in his book. He says he is trained to look for hidden in plain sight problems, which is how he stumbled upon this issue. You see, these men are not causing trouble, at least for now, and they don't seem to be drawing any attention to themselves. On the contrary, they keep to themselves. So surveys and statistics just don't include them at all. They don't even register on the scale, and people in society think this is a joke issue. And it's also reasonable to conclude that some of these men may work, but in the underground economy, work like formal cash jobs, or even shady legal ways of making money. But of course, this is just a minor portion of these men. We need to address the problem head on. How is the situation getting this bad? These men have completely lost their purpose in life. All of their duty, their hopes, their responsibilities, their own dignity and value. It's being completely decimated at the moment. And we're seeing this with the form of radicalization online, growing hatred and division, and a general apathy towards society as a whole. And the longer...
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, this lifestyle is not optimal. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way, you can't get anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You can't get anywhere. What does that create? Liable crash outs, nigga. Like I've been saying, it creates liable crash outs. It's probably so many fucked up shit, so many fucked up things you see on the internet is going on. Nigga fighting at the McDonald's and shit. Nigga fighting at the street here. Nigga fighting here. You know what I'm saying? This Karen's freaking out in this motherfucker here because everybody's doing shit they don't want to do. And what does that make? A bunch of crash outs who don't give a fuck about shit. Because it's just like, bitch, what the fuck I got to lose, right? What do I got to lose? I'm gonna go home and be a fucking bum anyway and shit like that. Might as well crash the fuck out here. Do whatever the hell's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying, bro? It's just, man. For all my big guys out there, bro, like, yo, we gotta really stand up and try to do something. Like, yo, we is being attacked. Even women's being attacked in their own way. Bro, I'm gonna touch on that in a different video and shit. Women, you getting attacked too. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted like y'all scot-free and shit. You getting attacked too, just in a different form. This is how men are getting attacked. I want the ladies, if you are watching, I want y'all to sit back and analyze the shit like, damn, like, really sit back and think, why is my man acting like this? Or my son, or whatever the hell. Like, this actually points out a lot of shit like this. For example, my nephews are like this. Like, they don't want to do, they don't have a drive for anything or whatever. But can I blame them? I can't blame them at the same time because it's just like, bro, what are they going to drive for? What the fuck is there to drive for? Even if they do work hard, what are they going to get? Struggle? Scraping quarters? And, like, you see what I'm saying? You can't even argue with the shit either. That's the tough part, bro. Especially for the youngins, bro. And I feel so bad for them.
This is ignored, the harder it's going to be addressed down the line. More men today than ever feel disconnected, disillusioned, and left behind by a world that seems increasingly indifferent to their struggles. While GDP numbers and employment stats may sound like an easy, good solution on paper, especially to government bureaucracies, it will never really fix the reality of the situation for normal people. The real challenge we face today in the West is to find purpose and meaning again to have any reason to even want to participate and achieve greatness in society. We should focus on creating environments where people can thrive, where beauty, philosophy, and higher noble pursuits are actively encouraged by the cities and countries that we inhabit, which would give millions of men a reason to care again.
That shit is heavy, bro. I'm telling you, that shit is heavy, gang. That shit's heavy, bro. But hey, like I said, all my guys out there, really get on point, get on track. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you gotta do, go home, lift some weights, do some shit, get your testosterone up. Really go think about what you really want to do, whatever drives your passion, whatever your heart desires. Really go for that shit and don't fucking stop. Like, just don't stop, nigga. Because the world is against you. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy LV. I'm checking out here. Hope y'all like the video. Hey, content every week. I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna at least try to do one a week. If not, I'm gonna do some extra. But just a little something so I can get this out there. I just thought this was an important topic to touch on. Because I feel like so many motherfuckers are going through this shit, talking to my boys and shit like that or whatever. They feel the exact same way they betraying in this video. So, hope this really touches some of y'all, really tickles your brain. Signing out here, your boy LV.